All right, so number 1, you should get 2.56. We skip number 2, right? We're moving on to number 3. Okay, so we have a triangle. This is our reference angle. We know the hypotenuse is 9. This leg is 3 times the square root of 5. It's asking us to find the value of cosecant. So it's just asking us to find that fraction, right? We're not trying to solve for the angle measure. So you need to find that side first. So when you do this, you have to put parentheses around it in the calculator, because you are technically squaring the 3 and the square root of 5. So it equals 36. So that means that side is 6. So cosecant is just sine flipped over. So we're doing hypotenuse over opposite. So our fraction is 9 over 6, which can reduce to 3 over 2. Okay?
So that's your answer?
Yeah, your answer is 3 over 2.
Do we have to reduce?
Yes.
How many points will we take?
You always have to reduce.
Okay.
That's just an always at this point. And really, it depends on what the question's worth, on how many points I would take off. Yes.
Let's say we get the answer wrong, okay?
Okay.
But we don't, we get it wrong. The number we get wrong, we can now simplify. But what happens if we don't simplify the wrong answer? Any points, or
I mean, it's, again, I give you guys partial credit, right? So, depending on what you did to get the wrong answer, like, if you did a lot of right things but then made a small math mistake, I would only take 1 point off for that. But then if you also didn't reduce, you'd probably lose another one.
Okay.
Yes, Zane? Yes. All right, so let's move on to number 4. So, we had to solve, right? So we had 14, 22. We're looking for tangent of that angle, so we need this missing side. Right, so x squared plus 14 squared is 22 squared. And then take the square root of both sides. So you get 16.97. I think some of you went ahead and rounded up to 17. That's fine. I really don't care. So your fraction either needs, so it's, remember, tangent is opposite over adjacent, right? Since that's our reference angle. So opposite is 14. So you can write it as 14 over 16.97. If you went to 17, that's fine. I would count either one of those right. Okay, so I'm just looking for the fractions here. All right, 5 and 6 were nice and gave you all 3 sides. Also, just so you guys know, I'm recording this, so if you want to go back and watch it tonight, you can. Oops, sorry, that's a 9. All right, so that's our reference angle. We're looking for tangent. So tangent is opposite over adjacent. So that equals 12 over 9, which reduces to 4 over 3. And then number 6. We are looking for secant. So secant is the reciprocal of what trig function? Cosine, right? All right, so cosine is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse, so that means secant is hypotenuse over adjacent. So our hypotenuse is 15. Our adjacent is 10 square root of 2. So you can reduce that to 3 over 2 squared root 2. Because 15 and 10, you can divide both by 5. All right, and then moving on to number 13. All right, so it's asking you to find the measure of the angle indicated. So we're looking for the measure of angle A. So rather than make it harder on yourself and find the hypotenuse, look at your reference angle, look at the two sides you have. So we have 10 is the what side? Opposite. 13 is? What trig function is opposite over adjacent? Tangent. So you're going to set it up as tan theta equals 10 over 13. So this is where you use that -1 when you're trying to find an angle measure. So in your calculator, you're going to plug in tan -1 of 10 over 13. So you should get 37.57, right? Because it's 37.568, so use the 8 to round up to a 7. Right.
37.57 or 35?
37. Sorry.
Well, you kept on saying 37.
Oh, okay. 37.6, sorry. I didn't read it. Made the mistake I tell you guys not to. No, as long as you're close. All right, number 14. So we have 2, 3. So what trig function are we going to use? Tangent again, right?
I worked out all the sides for
So
all.
why didn't you do the tangent theta on that one?
I mean, technically, that's your first step. And then you plug that in the calculator.
Why do you use the -1?
Because you're finding the angle measure. So 56.3 degrees for number 14. All right, how are we doing so far? Good?
You should stay, Tom.
All right. 15, what trig function are we using? All right, I'm saving myself time. Oh, those are blurry, but that's okay. All right, yes, we're going to use sine, right? We're finding the angle, so use that -1 of 6 over 12, right? You can technically make it 1/2.
Would you want us to?
I mean, where you're plugging in the calculator, that one doesn't really matter. Your final answers need to be reduced, if they can,
I worked out every side on every single one of these.
because you made it a lot harder on yourself.
I didn't know where to start, so I did it.
All right, so what's the answer to this one?
30 degrees.
Yep, 30 degrees even.
And I don't like it because I'm still getting wrong.
And is that the same as question 1/2?
It's not so sure myself too.
Yeah, I just plugged in sine -1.5 and got the right answer. So, Shh, guys, hush. Yes, Abby.
Will you count off if we accidentally don't put the degree sign?
No, but you should try and get in that habit. All right, and trig function. Which one are we using? Tangent of 16 over 4.7. Right, that is a 16, yes.
So not 4.7?
No, because it's opposite over adjacent.
Oh, yeah.
I really just failed this.
So 73.6.
Are you coming here and study hall now? Practice?
Please.
As far as I know, yes, I do think I have somebody coming in to make up an algebra quiz, but. All right, but if you're going to come in and study hall tomorrow, you need to be prepared on exactly what you need me to go over. Don't just walk in and be like, I need help with everything. Like, at this point, you need to be more specific. All right, you and me need to talk. I'm not as worried about you right now because you missed a lot of school, so. But the rest of them have no excuse. They've been here. Well, that's good. All right, so then number 17, we are finding the measure of the side. So we are looking for x. So this becomes our reference angle. Right? We have adjacent and we're looking for hypotenuse. So adjacent and hypotenuse is what trig function? Cosine, right? So cosine of 52 degrees equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Now, lots of you were making this mistake the other day. You multiply by whatever is on the bottom, even if it's x. To get rid of it, you have to multiply both sides by x. That cancels it out here. So then you have x cosine 52 equals 13. Divide by cosine 52. So then x equals 13 divided by the cosine of 52.
Do we have to put this one in a fraction?
I mean, not as like a final, you just have to like type in your calculator 13 divided by cosine 52 and give me that decimal number.
And that's the part that's going to go on these, right?
Yes. Right, so that is 21 point, what, 1? Well, it says around 10, so. All right, what? Okay, you good? All right, let's look at 18. So, again, this is our reference angle because we are given that measurement. Unless it's asking you to solve the triangle, do not make more work for yourself and find a bunch of parts you don't need. Okay? So this one is just asking you to find this side right here. So we have, that's our reference angle. That means this side is?
And x is adjacent.
Yes. Good job. So that means we're using tangent. So tangent 51 equals 8 over x. Same process as before. Multiply both sides by x. Oh, what is that? So that one should be 6.5, rounding to the nearest tenth, or 6.48, however you did it. All right, questions on 18? Okay, moving on to 19. All right, so our reference angle is up here at the top. That means our...
18 for a quick second, just a quick one.
You good?
Yes.
All right, so that means angle A is our reference angle. So that means this side here is what?
Opposite.
The side we're looking for is hypotenuse. So that means we're using sine. So again, same process. So 6 divided by sine 75. is 6.2.
Another question.
Yes, sir.
Why is the 6 opposite? I thought that'd be adjacent.
It's opposite of whatever our reference angle is. So angle A is up here. So this would be the adjacent side because it touches the angle. It's so it's like across from it.
Oh,
Okay.
so wait, remember 18. X is your opposite, right?
X is adjacent. So your hypotenuse is always across from the right angle.
Oh, okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then number 20. So we are using this 66 as our reference angle, so X is our opposite side, and we also have 3, which is hypotenuse. So we're using sine again.
Now this one is confusing.
So sine 66 is opposite, which is X, over hypotenuse, which is 3. So you multiply both sides by whatever's on the bottom, so that's a 3. Does that show up okay for you guys, that green?
Yeah.
Okay. So that goes away. So then X is just equal to 3 times sine 66. So this is what you're plugging in your calculator. So you can just put 3 sine 66, which gives you 2.7.
How you feeling, Shay?
All right. So let's go over these last ones. All right, so we're solving the right triangle. So we have to find the 2 missing sides and our missing angle. So since we have one angle, let's find the other angle first, right? So angle A is going to be equal to 90 minus what? 24, making it.
66.
So that angle is 66 degrees. All right, what side do you guys want to find first?
A.
All right, so this one up here?
Sure.
Well, that is A, so.
Okay.
All right, so let's use our 24. Let's make that our reference angle. Okay, so when you're solving these right triangles, just pick a reference angle. Pick one and go with it. It doesn't matter. I picked 24, so we're going with it. So that means if I'm looking for that side A, that means 3.7 is my opposite. This is my adjacent, right? This is hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle. So opposite and adjacent means we're using tangent.
Wait. I understand the opposite. Why did you use adjacent?
Because that's the side we chose to look for.
Oh, okay.
Right, so then multiply both sides by A. So you're doing 3.7 divided by tangent of 24. So that gives you 8.3. All right, and then once you have those two, you can use Pythagorean theorem to find the third, right? So you can do 3.7 squared plus 8.3 squared equals c squared. I'm not going to do that math because it's going to take a while, but you get 9.1. Yeah. All right, let's move on to 22. So again, to find angle A, we're going to do 90 minus 71, giving us what? 19. All right, then you're going to pick, you want to find C, so you want to find the hypotenuse? All right. Okay, so I heard hypotenuse first. So we have adjacent and hypotenuse, meaning cosine. Wait, are we using 19?
Wait, which one's B? Is B? Oh, well, it doesn't matter.
So I used 71.
All right, sorry.
If
You should.
If you get it right.
All right, so you guys used 71 and then found C?
Sure.
I didn't send one
I found A as well.
Okay. All right, so let's look for A. So that's this side here. So that means you're using tangent, right? Tangent 71 is opposite over adjacent. Multiplied by A. And then you get this. So that gives you what? 4.8. Right? Then set up Pythagorean theorem to find C. So 4.8 squared, how does that show up?
4.8, it's like, well, I did 4.82.
Huh? That's fine. Doesn't matter. So 4.82 you said?
23.
What?
23.2.
What?
It's 4.8. 4.8.
Oh, when you square it. Okay. That's fine. I'm just setting it up.
It was like asking what the call.
All right. So for 23, your other angle is 57. Your hypotenuse is 25.7. And this one is 21.6. All right. So the other angle's 36. Your top, guys, I'm teaching. That means you're not talking. All right, your top side's 1.5, your other side is 2.5. Okay. All right, now I want to go over a couple more things that you guys will need to know for your test. So yes, there will be word problems. We'll do a practice one together here in a second. Also, we are going to have cofunctions on there, so we're going to practice some of those again today too.
Wait, can we use?
All right, so let's talk cofunctions. So these were the problems in the book that we did. Right, so remember for cofunctions, right, I think I put the picture of that chart I did on your study guide. It's that little chart on the front there. Right, so if you're given sine, its cofunction is cosine. And then you do 90 minus whatever that number is. So 90 minus 25 is? Yeah.
65?
Better?
Yes.
Okay.
65.
Right, so your final answer is then cosine of 65. So on the test, it's going to be worded just like this. It's going to say, write the following in terms of the appropriate cofunction. So you need to know that, like, the cofunction of sine is cosine. Right, tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant. And then you subtract from 90
For everyone.
for everyone.
You've heard that?
Yes,
So cosecant would turn
it's a secant.
into secant, and it'd be.
Yeah, so like even ones like this, let's look right here. Okay, when it says secant B. So for that one, so secant, the cofunction is cosecant. And we don't know what B is. Right, so we're just going to do 90 minus B. That's your final answer. So just know the cofunction, and then whatever is here, or here, or here, or here, or there, subtract from 90. That's it.
So you remember how to start?
Yeah. I mean, sine, cosine, right? It has the co in front of it. Secant, cosecant. Tangent, cotangent.
So minus.
You just have to know which one goes with which, and then know to subtract from 90.
Well, how do you do number 23?
So, all right. So you're going to have cosine of 90 minus 50 minus A. So you like apply the negative. So it's 90 minus 50 plus A. So then 90 minus 50 is 40 plus A.
Yeah.
So subtract it from 90.
What was the last part say?
Cosine of 40 plus A. Sorry, I was writing fast. Yes.
So like if that, so on number 25, if the b was an actual number, how do you do the cosecant again? Would that be secant -1?
All right, you're not going to have to plug that in a calculator, though.
Oh, okay.
I literally just want, like, this. Oh, gosh, sorry. This for those.
Oh, okay, so you don't want that.
No.
Okay, that makes it easy.
Yeah, now there's going to be a section where you have to know how to use the calculator. Right? So, like, for that one, so if it says, like, tangent 25, you just use the regular one. Right? If it gives you a theta, that's when you use the -1 in the calculator. So that one's the regular one. This is the -1 in the calculator.
Do you want us to, oh yeah, let me write that.
And then what if it was like cotangent?
All right. So if it was like cotangent theta equal, I'm making up a number, so I don't know if it'll actually work in the calculator. Let's do 1.25. So for that one, you would do tan -1 of 1 over 1.25.
Okay.
And it's the same for all the reciprocal products.
Right, yeah. So that would, so if it was like secant, you would use cosine, and then,
Over 1.2.
yes.
So what would it be if it was normal? If it was COT equals 1.25?
Then you would just, if it was this, then you would plug, you would do 1 over tan of 1.25. So if you have to use a -1, you make the fraction with your numbers. If you don't, you make the tangent, like your trig function, part of your fraction.
How do you know which one to use?
It depends on if you're finding an angle or if you're not. If you've got this theta right here, that means you're solving for an angle. That's when you use -1.
So you don't use 9.
So when you have a theta, you start your, like, looking for an angle, but when you don't, look for a side.
Yes.
Okay, but I have a.
Yeah, guys, this is, listen, this is just the part where I'm asking you to use a calculator.
I have a serious question.
Yes.
So, on like numbers 21 through like 24, okay?
Okay.
You know how we do like 90 minus 24?
Yeah.
You know how we get 66? What's the point of that 66? What do we use that for?
You can use that as your reference angle as you want, but when you are asked to solve a right triangle, that means you find all the missing angles and all the missing sides. So that 66 is one of your answers. Yes. Yes. All right, and then the other thing I need you guys, yes.
If the theta means angle, then wouldn't you use the 90 degrees? Because that's like, that's, right? Wouldn't you use the 90 minus whatever?
All right, if you have a picture of a triangle, but these are just going to be like, use your calculator to solve. I'm not giving you a triangle. I'm just giving you this. Like we did in section 2.4. Yes.
Like, really off topic, is there a way to solve for like tangent 25 without using the calculator? Like, the people actually did that back in the day.
It's a very long, tedious process.
Okay. But you could do it if you knew how.
It would, yes and no.
Will we ever have
No. Right, so I will like give you this or this. Right? So, it's casting a 30-foot shadow. Angle of elevation is 25 degrees. How tall is the telephone pole? So what am I looking for?
The opposite.
Yeah, this opposite side here.
Sorry. Apologies.
30 feet along the
Can you zoom
bottom.
up on that a bit? Yeah.
You're welcome. All right, so again, you just have to find that one missing side. You guys can do that. You will be okay. Right, so tangent 25 is opposite over adjacent. Because make the 25 the reference angle, opposite. adjacent.
It helps
That's
when
not
I
your
like a
answer,
visual
is
picture, because like when I make this for myself, I sometimes write it down wrong, so it's like.
Yeah, I will give you guys a picture for the word problems.
Is this the answer?
Well, you have to solve that, but yeah,
Solve what?
solve the equation I wrote.
I think I'm the fall.
All right, guys, that's basically it for your test tomorrow. All right, make sure everybody brings charged iPads for your test tomorrow.
I have a question.
Wait, if we don't charge them, we don't have to do it, and we get.
No, that means you fail, and you get a demerit for being unprepared for class.
Is this video for Briar?
Well, it's for everybody. I'm gonna post it on LMS for all of you to look at.
How you doing, Briar? Love you, bud. Miss you.